Hi everyone, Tracy here from Temperance Tarot, and today I wanted to do a first impressions and walkthrough of the Vivid Journey Tarot. This is a new tarot deck that I just got this week by Jessica Allaire, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I've been following her on Instagram for a little while. I was interested in this deck and thought I would show it. It is a Llewellyn deck. It is in the new Llewellyn style, which means you get a harder box with a little magnetic closure and it flips open. I apologize for the setup. I'm trying to do this on my iPad so that I can actually show you the cards close up, but that doesn't leave me with a whole lot of room, and it is kind of awkward, so I apologize. But you can see this is that new Llewellyn setup with the box. It's just like the Everyday Witch Tarot, which, yes, means that the card stock is just as cruddy as it is with the Everyday Witch Tarot. It's thin and kind of flimsy, but, you know, it is what it is. So we're going to go from there. And what we're going to do today is we'll have a look through all of the cards, and then I will pull a card and read from the book for that card so that you get a feel for the book. The book is, it's a Llewellyn guidebook. It's fairly chunky. It's written by, well, I wonder if it's written by the same the artist. Let's see. Jessica. It says it's Jessica Allaire, so yep, she drew the deck and wrote the book. The book is about 180 pages long, 181 pages long. Yep. Oh, holy moly. Look at this in the back. I don't know if you can see that, but it reminds me of the backs of books 30 years ago. Look, you can get a free catalog. Okay, let's see what we've got in the book a little bit. We have Journey. We have Tarot Basics, Major Arcana, Minor Arcana, and Conclusions. We have a 3-card spread. Very basic. Okay, so not a whole lot in the way of stuff other than card meanings, but it is the card meanings by the artist, so I do always enjoy that because they tend to give you their thought process behind why they created things. So let's have a look at all of the cards. Here we have the Fool in silhouette. In this deck, the chicks have crazy hair. All of their hair seems to stand up and like it grows straight, standing straight up. Do that. All right. The Magician. These are kind of, there's not a whole lot of detail in these cards, which I like, because when cards get too busy for me, I can't pick out the central meaning. Priestess. So I like cards that are a little simpler, and I love color. And this deck is definitely colorful. Emperor. And people's expressions are great in this deck too. Got the Hierophant. He looks very benevolent. He looks pretty traditional, but he has such a benevolent face. Have the Lovers. This Lovers card is pretty interesting because they could be two women, they could be a man and a woman. You really can't tell, and that's great. Chariot. They all seem to have those little squiggles in like their chin or their nose. And that horse looks a little confused. Strength is 8. Isn't she beautiful? Wow. This is a great strength card. She's petting him rather than fighting him. Beautiful Hermit. I know this art style may not be for everybody, which is why I'm showing it. Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot of these swirly things everywhere. Justice. Hanged Man. Really like this one. He looks like he's a monk who has sacrificed his part of his lifestyle, and he's very serene. Death. I like the hourglass in Death. Lovely Temperance card. This is interesting. Devil. He's got dead people, animated dead people chained to him. But he has a fun face. Look at that face. Who could say no to him? Tower. The Star. The Moon. Sort of a hint at a crayfish or a lobster down there, but not a real. But it sort of also looks like a face. That's cool. And then the Sun, lovely Sun card. Judgment. I kind of wish she had done something a bit different with Judgment. This is, you know, typical Rider-Waite-Smith. You just don't see the people down at the bottom. And the World. That's what I was talking about with the funky hair. It'll get even funkier in a minute. Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. It is a very Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It's, is it a clone? I would call it a clone simply because there hasn't been anything really new added to them. It's just a different person's drawings. They're generally Rider-Waite-Smith images, just reinterpreted. Interesting Five of Wands. They're in silhouette again. Very determined look on his face, which is a bit unusual in this deck. We're seeing, you know, so many happy faces. I really like this Eight of Wands, that instead of moving in one direction, they seem to be spinning around in a spiral. Ten of Wands. There's the weird hair. I mean, even with hairspray, could you really get hair to do that? But I guess that's not the point. It's an artistic choice. It just kind of throws me occasionally. The pages all seem to have these sort of bell-shaped uniforms, and they seem to be like children. Not small children, but young people. She looks a little worried. Ace of Cups. Each suit definitely has sort of a color theme to it. Some more funky hair. I'm ignoring you. I'm ignoring you. Interesting perspective. Very smug. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, the swords are like yellow and purple. A little orange. Oddly, the Six of Swords, there are no people, and the boat seems to be coming at us. Let's continue. Nice Nine of Swords. Mostly females in this deck. There's some of the really funky hair. That's just really kind of weird. And now we move on to the Pinnacles. And there's this purple color seems to just be everywhere. So if you don't like purple, this won't be the deck for you. And this definitely gives off the impression of a teacher and pupil type of situation. You have a lot of solitary figures in this deck as well. You know, like the Ten of Pentacles, you would normally see a family there. Okay. One thing about this thinner Llewellyn cardstock, it does tend to shuffle really well, and I don't think I can do this and show you, but now it actually feels a little bit thicker. That might just be my imagination. It feels a little bit thicker than the Everyday Witch. It shuffles really nicely. Yes, I riffle shuffle. And with this camera, no, it's not any thicker. I just bent a card. Let's pull a card. What did we get? The Nine of Cups. This card is stalking me. I've pulled that card a couple of times lately. So let's see what she has to say about the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups represents overall happiness and contentment in all aspects of our lives. This card is often considered the wish card because it is seen as a sign that we are on the path to emotional joy and fulfillment, often on a materialistic level. The Nine of Cups is also a card that reminds us to live in the moment and count our blessings. Enjoy what you have now, for you may not have it forever. There is also a level of pride to this card, as is seen on the somewhat smug look on the man's face. He is very proud of what he has and isn't afraid to show off his treasures on his most predominant shelf. Can you let go of your worries and enjoy right now? How can you make the feeling of contentment last? And then it goes into the reverse meaning. When reversed, the Nine of Cups can be seen as a card of not quite getting all that you desire. In tarot, 10s are usually seen as overall fulfillment and completion, so the Nine of Cups is sometimes viewed as that one missing cup. It could be an indication that we are focusing too much on what we don't have and not giving all of our current blessings the attention they deserve. The reversed Nine of Cups can also be an indicator of addiction. Perhaps we have become too enthralled in our desires, and they've begun to take over. It's a nice deck. My first impression is that it's not the most wonderful thing I've ever come across, but it's also, it's nice. That's the best adjective I can use to describe it, is that it's nice. Backs. And, that's kind of what I thought about the Everyday Witch Tarot until I started using it, and now it's become one of my favorites. So, who knows? We'll see. But I didn't pay that much for it, and I've had fun looking at it, and maybe I will have more fun getting to know it. Everybody have a great day.